You can weight the strategy map by doing a simple flip chart exercise, but we found doing this in Excel using a computer and a projector is a useful way to facilitate the team. I'll show you an example using a public utility. Their strategy map is perhaps a bit too many strategic objectives and a bit confusing, but this is their starting point. I'm proud to say 3 years later they've greatly simplified this strategy map and it's down to about 10 objectives. In their case, they're calling it stakeholders, internal, catalyst instead of enablers, and financial. So what we've done is taken this PowerPoint slide and just convert it into an Excel spreadsheet. So these are each of the strategic objectives that we just saw across the 4 perspectives. And the first step is we're going to weight each of the 4 perspectives. So again, we've said to the leadership team that's in the room, there's 4 criteria. One is you're going to weight this for the next 12 months. 2, take off your functional hat. We're here to represent the total organization. So put yourself in the seat of the CEO, president for the next little while. 3rd, the weighting does not represent headcount or dollars or managerial focus. It's a combination of those things. 4th, understand that we're going to be soliciting your ideas. Then we're going to have a healthy debate, and we'll either come to consensus or we'll have to ask the CEO/president what they would like the final answer to be. And so based on that, what we then did is had each participant write down on a piece of paper what they thought the score should be, the weighting across the perspectives, and then we read it off. As they read it off, we then wrote it down. Now, typically, we don't ask the participants to have their names put on the spreadsheet at the top. We want to create as much of a risk-free environment as possible. And so once all of these weightings have been documented, we can then go back and facilitate. And the way that we typically facilitate is as follows. For each perspective, let's have the people who gave us the highest weighting, in this case there's a 30 and a bunch of 25s, and the lowest weighting, in this case a bunch of 10s, and explain to us why they gave it that weighting. And without judgment, we then do the same with all the perspectives. And what we're trying to do is surface any arguments or positions that one individual may have that if everyone knew about it, they would change their overall weighting. And so we want to allow that conversation to occur. We don't typically put people's names across the top because then you're singling people out. And often there's 1 or 2 people that have incredibly disparate scores, and we don't necessarily want to put the spotlight on them. We'd like them to join the conversation if and when they're ready. What we also do in the spreadsheet is we calculate what the average looks like at the end. We don't necessarily want to end on the average, but it does help us understand who's above and below what that average looks like. Ultimately, we want the team to agree on what that weighting should be, perspective by perspective. And then if they can't, then we have to go to the leader to tell us what it is. As we agree on what the weighting is, in this case they came up with 20, 30, 40, and 10, we delete the scores that were there previously. I don't want to leave those out there because we've made the agreement. We now agree it's 20, so it doesn't matter what score you put on this before. It's now 20. Let's agree to that and move ahead. So I'll very proactively delete that and not make it available. We don't want people to come back and go, I never agreed to that. That wasn't what I said. I said it should be 10% and so forth. We get rid of that and have the final weighting out there that's available by perspective.